you have them. It's only 5 play days, and there's only a couple left. So let's see which map we're going to be playing on in this series. The UK versus France, the all favorite here for Europe. Let's go. App-ban, we got it.
I actually haven't looked at it yet. I'm doing a Milos today.
Yeah, Gio genuinely is now afraid of like saying what the map is when I'm around in chat.
Whoa.
There it is.
Yeah.
Clubhouse is outer cider, and Cowana will ban out Oregon to take Bekind to it. All right. So what is it? Bekind Room Cafe, Consulate, Villa. It's kind of a mix. There's not really a specific type of map we see out there.
I think what's really interesting about this is, you know, Clubhouse for Bekind, this is a map that they beat Team Vitality on in the French League. So, you know, when you beat a Pro League team, oh, I shouldn't say Pro League, when you beat an EU League team on a map, it gives you a kind of impression that they sort of know what they're doing, maybe a tiny bit.
Yeah, I don't think either of these teams would have. Well, I don't know if either of these teams would have expected to come here, and I think we get an interview today. I'd be interested to hear what the thought was behind the map veto process, because both teams love banning this map. I have no stats on Cowana for this map. Never played it in the UKINS Series 1 or the Challenge League, so uncharted territory. I'm excited.
Very much excited. Gio, James, thanks so much for your breakdown. We're going to toss it over to our casters, Fluke and Hap. Captain Hap. Flap, I don't know what they call them nowadays. All yours for game number 2.
What up? It's us, Captain Hat Flap, apparently. And we're here to bring you Cowana versus Bekind, a map where there's expectations and there might be the lock-off of the teams going up, and the teams, unfortunately, not from this. The final showdown, potentially. Hey, we got a lot to play for here on this clubhouse.
Definitely lots to play for here, as it is the penultimate game day of the groups already. Feels like we only just started, but it is coming to an end soon, and that means that if Bekind want to have something to say this season, they have to start now, because it's not done yet. They're not completely locked out from reaching the playoffs.
Nope.
All they need is 2 wins and make sure that M&M does not, as they are currently on 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, there's little bits, little possibilities, little ideas of hope, I guess, so we'll see how this comes together. But obviously it was cited that Bekind had a good performance last game against Penta last week, and Cowana, well, by their own words, they did, and it was a heck of a game that played through and ended up coming to an unfortunate result for them, but at the same time, it was a heck of a game. And there were moments where they admitted they threw it. The thing about Bekind is obviously they came in kind of shaky, and since then, they've been able to put in a couple of performances. The things to note, though, is their best performance were against teams that they know. Penta, obviously, in the French League alongside. They've hit heads before. They're similar kind of scene, similar kind of growth. And you're back against a UK team. A team which, in a region, which unfortunately left you a little bit behind in the wake last time.
Well, let's get the head onto this game at hand. We are playing Clubhouse. We're not seeing any Heartbreach ban, which is quite out of the ordinary. Meaning all 4 and Thatcher will be open. Question is, how many of those will Cowana use to try and well, take out the defenses of Bekind to keep then also coming through. We'll be making it a bit easier to actually bend it trick. Not like making it easier to actually avoid a bandit trick. That is due to the fact that okay, easy. Calm down now. Anyway, due to the fact that the electric clock could just be tossed on really easily, you do not have to remove another bandit charge first before putting down a new one. Also, bandit, you either have to shoot your charge or pick it up before you can replace it. It takes a bit of extra time, and that means that there's a bigger gap for the heart breachers to try and actually fit in with, trying to open up.
Sorry, I was just writing down some numbers. Yeah, Easy's picking fights with the UK lads in the chat, but hey, I guess we're on a schedule. We've got to make time. We've got to make sure we get through the day. A long play day ahead of us. And again, well, here we might find ourselves locked down a little bit. Now, Cowana, they've got to come back. They obviously had a strong start, then a draw, and then things went wrong against Homeless, who, to be honest, if you just watched that game before, they're looking better and better, that Polish side. Like, they're looking so strong. So Cowana now on the back foot behind them. They came into this with a lot of expectations. They've got to step up. the same time, so does Bekind. Bekind was a team that there were some expectations. They obviously kind of had a bit of a flounder with the 0-7 in the first, and then since then have tried to peel and pull themselves back. This would be a good time to prove it, because you're against, as I said before, the same region that previously kind of had you run around before.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Action phase is underway as of right now, and that means 3 minutes will be on the clock. It is the usual story you all know and love, where a puzzle has been set up in those 45 seconds in the action phase, this time by Bekind, and it's up to the attack to try and dismantle it now. There is still some pests being deployed that will be taking care of drones if they will be coming in from the strip direction up to the pool. El Chico is going to be receiving some quick pressure already, because it seems like Sloth is pushing in from the garage. Drone came through, but I'm not sure if actually the spot came through. And to the Jaeger, it does look like it, because the chase is on. Sloth is trying to hunt for the kill, but Legends is staying put. He's not moving any inch here. He's staying close to that wall right here to try and make the advantage happen for him.
Sloth kills someone over the top, but they don't quite catch it. Sorry to interrupt, but that was a bit of a surprise.
I was going to say, like, misses the kill there somehow. And Legends will be able to finish up Sloth at least and draw it back to a 4-4, but you really do not want to start off your round like that when you think the cover is there and it isn't actually.
Well, they're going to have to pull their way back. Obviously, you've lost, well, one more as Legends finds the second buried inside blue and making sure nobody can come down those important stairs. They still have all of their ADSs, and now you've lost a lot of flashes and a huge amount of soft destruction utility between Ash and Zafir. The first two off the board. Okay, hard destruction is a very precious resource on here, but you look at what's still down there. You look at what you've still got to go up against. It's not easy, especially when you have the potential, obviously, for all of the tricks, C4s, and catches you might suffer at the hands of the Legion, or obviously the Melusi. Waiting and trying to apply some pressure from above to push people and shepherd them into more uncomfortable situations. They still have a lot left to do, and the hatches are finally steadily being opened. Gorgona can't quite find anybody. Retreats around to Moto, as we can see the blue bodies being covered from the far side. One on oil, one on stock, and still one underneath waiting, but this will just go to the 80. Oh, no, it won't, because Gorgona just drops and gets a double on the opposite side.
It's going to be the double kill to come in, and that means Cowana now have the lead here again. Zidane and Rivers are the only two left. Need to shut down these last three with 42 seconds on that clock. Try and let the time run out. That is their goal right here, hoping that they will be able to secure this round for Bekind, because otherwise Cowana will be able to go for it. Impact will be coming in, and somehow we see Zidane sneaking himself up to the main stairs. Will be picked up, however, by Gorgona. Leaves it all up to Rivers. Going to be Gorgona to get the second kill as well. It's a quad kill for him, I believe. And Cowana pick up a very steady first round here on the basement attack.
Gorgota is the words from Anarchic inside the chat. I like how it's .cow. Because the new cut-off limits. Anarchic.cow.
Didn't we hear James said it before? It's now Cowana Esports.
Maybe this is it. The rebrand.
He knew it beforehand.
I mean, moves in chat. Church and Arsenal. We head over to, again, then going to try and double down. Obviously, I think it was a surprise opener, sure, but then the double kill from the back, it just seemed like Bekind weren't quite aware fully of what was going down. They had a very good opener, even after having the worst. When you lose the opening trade, the body that went down is one that's kind of disposable. They've already spent all of their utility of the Jaeger. And at that point, you've been able to catch, obviously, all that soft destruction capabilities. You've been able to stop some of the big gunners from that team as well. It just sets you up in a little bit more of a solid position here. But hey, they think they can learn from it. They think they can double down. Do you know what I forgot until earlier? The Echo.
Oh.
The Echo's not playable. How different it's felt without Echo being part of everything.
Yeah, like we noticed it during the first stage as well, when of course he has been done for a little while.
Yeah.
It just allows a lot more freedom onto the actual attack, and more mistakes get, well, basically forgiven. Because if you're being sloppy with time and the Echo is still there, and you don't have an IQ, or she died trying to clear out all the roamers, well, you do not really want to go up against those two yokai. So yeah, it feels really different. It's a different game almost, and it allows for more diverse bands to come through, as you can see right here on the board.
That's it. It's one of those things where I kind of forgot about it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why it felt like a slightly different, slightly sharper game recently. Well, talk of sharp, There's a way to start it. El Chico gets a bit of revenge from previously, just waiting across Garage, finds the bullet hole, finds Sloth, and finds a bit of sweet revenge from before. But they've now got this man advantage, and last time it didn't come through for them in the end either way. Be kind. You love your bullet holes. That one.
They love them, able to pick up some kills, yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't good enough, though. They shot that one out.
Gotta live up to a very, very strict standard, otherwise they will be taken out before they're going to be even used, you know. So they get the bullet hole specialist on their side.
Now, Gorgona bringing the buck over the sledge is one of those decisions where you think, okay, it's so much rarer nowadays. Obviously, there used to be a very different setup here where you could kind of really get yourself going, and here, when you're fighting downwards, obviously, we've already seen Gorgona get a 4K, so I was obviously very happy with the gun set, but at the same time, to not bring the frags in this kind of situation, it's rarer to see. So it's kind of good to see him get some decent use. Talking of, there's an impact trick, there's another ace charge, and there's hopefully a little bit more of this hatch gone if you're on the side of Cowana as the entire hatch falls. Kitchen is there slightly, but with Zayden just playing underneath, waiting for the approach here and waiting for the possibility of shooting someone as they go to the window or potentially a little bit too close to the hatch, they might be able to strike from a bit of surprise.
Zayden just holding, knowing that someone is playing on the hatches. The drone keeps on playing a peekaboo kind of game. Going to be removing himself from that position as the buck was about to open up from above. Gorgona, the man who managed to pick up a huge 4K the last round. Is he going to be able to find more this one as Grizzly and Anarchic, they are ready. They're waiting to drop this hatch, and it seems like Cowana is setting themselves up for it as well, as Grizzly now picks up the entry onto Rivers. That is going to be helping, but they still have to get rid of Zayden and the Valkyro, because look at him. Oh, actually, the drop came through and they have no clue. Zayden will go down. The plants are already coming through. No C4 left in the hands of the Melusi. That means a peek will have to be made if they want to stop that plant to go down, but they will fail to do so. At least they can recover that one teammate, but the clock is ticking. 37 seconds left.
Now then, as they try and creep their way back round yet again, they've lost the advantage here, and Anarchic's just going to dig in on the diffuser. Grizzly finds one more. The double is his, and El Chico is trying to get some of this anti-vertical play. Well, doesn't quite get the pick up there, as Walkera's already got it, but now they've dug themselves in onto the diffuser. The concern is they're still above. The flashes are coming out, but they're just going for the diffuse. There's the rotation. There's the catch on a man that really just dug in and went for the kind of everything, but unfortunately it's just come down to a little bit of nothing. 2 rounds in a row. Cowana, 2 times you have found yourself pushing the site with the body down, and yet both times you've still found success.
All of the members of Bekind could do is just commit. Just try. Just try and get that defuse going. Hope that they won't realize. Hope that the flashbangs will mask your sound, and that they're not going to peek you. But of course, they're going to be quickly checking to see if there's anybody active onto that diffuser. And they managed to find 2 like that. And that means we are now 2-0 up. Cowana is looking at a very good start here on their attacks. As, of course, defense side of the map, we often say. However, all 4 heart breaches available, and it often changes the dynamic just a little bit. So I'm not quite sure what we would expect. A 3-3 maybe would be maybe more suited for the current bans.
I guess it's one of those things where you don't really know, because so far a lot of the success has come from striking back. It seems like, as I've said, Cowana keep falling onto the back foot and then just going, wait a second, if we push this and do this, we're winning our ones. We're winning these firefights that otherwise Bekind just seem, again, a little bit taken by surprise for. So the bans are always something you got to think about, but you're also looking at a, defensive-sided map. Usually, they're obviously opting to try different sites, so I'm hoping we get a little bit more of a flavor here for Bekind and the performance they're putting in so far, because we have seen them improve. We've seen them get better and better time after time, and you want to see a little bit more of them for such a strong region, for a team that has such capabilities. Sure, Cowana are good, but so should every team in CL, and you got to step up to that.
Of course, there is a difference in quality between the teams of CL. There's no going around it. It's still a competition, and you always have those who are better than others. But Cowana coming through the open qualifier, really stepping up, and so far, I believe, doing better than their counterparts from the UKIN region as well. As, that's a little bit of a battle in between them. Who will be ending up higher in the group, considering they're both in the same one. We'll be trying to dodge each other, of course, for the playoffs. That will be happening later on. Sloth, where did he get the kill from? Oh, that is unlucky. That's Sloth gone. That is from the garage door, probably, as El Chico managed to get that kill. And that is just Sophia gone. So now the Maverick can cut out all he wants. But you're going to have to open up with the buck instead.
Sloth not having the best time so far. Obviously, if you're unfamiliar with Sloth, I mean, you usually get a better taste for him on a defense, where if there's a window, Sloth will find a way to throw himself out of it and find a couple of kills. Here, he hasn't really been able to approach the building. Okay, he got the first kill of the game. Oh, that's just unfortunate. El Chico takes care of an Arctic with a pretty standard kill, to be fair. It was really an Arctic messed that one up, and El Chico was able to just take full advantage of what is a very common way of dispatching of a Maverick doing a job. But as I said before, Sloth, he's not getting himself into the game, into the room, into the building, and into the ability to actually put some use to his guns and his utility. And it's kind of coming down to the immense skill and possibility of the rest of the Cowana roster. They all often have a habit of being able to step up and step in. Grizzly, Gorgona, obviously Kayak, the Yak is on the attack, and, well, no looking back.
Right now, Cowana 2 men down. Last rounds they were able to still get around after, well, losing one member. Can they do it with 2? As time seems ticking, they do not have the normal breach, as that has been and will remain closed off. Legends now will be having the opportunity to take out these Excaros. Will most likely favor the ones in the middle. There we have it. Big opening. All 3 Excaros is used, and only one will completely detonate. Cowana not really looking too well, especially not now Grizzly dies as well. It's a 2-on-4 situation with Gorgona still from below. What can they do with these amount of time left as Sidon picks up yet another one? It's only up to Kayak now.
Well, as he goes through the screaming face, they've opened up onto this wall, and he can't quite find the first, who creeps his way around to the back of the shield. They will have some rough eyes on it, and you assume they're going to pop up in just a second, pre-firing the angles and hoping that they play in bait and push themselves up, but, well, it was only really going to go one way. Bekind! You find your first round, and you find it well. You just seem to battle back and push against anything that we saw Cowana do, but there was a lot of Cowana mistakes there. As I said, the Maverick was taken very easily. There was barely any countenance for what was going on there, and obviously Sloth, for the second time in a row, was dropped before he was able to really get into the building.
Managed to at least get that first kill, let's say, on round number 1 before he got traded out, but besides that, not really having the greatest of impacts yet, as Bekind now will be going to the gym bedroom, seeming to completely avoid the bottom floor for now, as they just want CC. Mirror coming out instead of Smoke is an interesting one, which I do, however, understand, because the Smoke often doesn't really get to use his utility at the last couple of dying seconds. And it's probably better to just play yourself around that bathroom, use a mirror window in that site, just make sure that if they get Jacuzzi while open, it's not going to be uncontested, it's not going to be free. And there's no better way to do that than placing a mirror window there that they'll have to deal with, especially if there is no Twitch available here for Cowana to try and take it out from just a drone. Because you cannot do it from below. Below is completely off limits. You cannot get an S charge in there, you cannot open up that floor. And that means that the options are limited to trying to flashbang or grenade out that player, because otherwise you're not going to be going past.
Setting themselves up to try and hold on the top floor and lock down, again with a little bit more success than they had on the basement. It makes sense. This is a site you have to go to anyway if you find success downstairs, and twice you've been on the kind of up and up and then found yourself, oh no, you're on the down. So, have some growth here. Build from the bolstered hold you just managed to pull off before and see if you can double down on the success. Legends going right deep into blue to see if they can strike on anyone that might push Oil Pit, or obviously Standard Adam Staircase too, but the pressure's instantly coming towards CC as it usually does. Clear across the top, get the angles, and wow, 2 minutes 30 and Sloth's still alive.
Not still alive indeed. It's a change to to the setup of Cowana, and a welcome one, I must say, as this will allow him to make these crazy plays happen. We know he can deliver. He often goes in and walks away with 2, maybe even 3 kills. So far hasn't been able to do that yet. He got taken down time and time again. It will be 1 kill, will be 2 kills coming in as well. Grizzly and Gorgona will be catching one off guard. Now a very heavy hold still towards the CCTV side here, as there's still 2 players of Bekind playing around this area. However, the side is completely on the other side. It's in gym bedroom. if this is being read by Cowana, we might see a quick push coming in towards that side as we see one walking up the red stairs. There's Cowana to pick up yet another kill, and now going for the turret one before he falls. Ziden able to hold that one off just for now. The question is, how much longer can he keep Cash in his control? How much longer can he stall this out?
Well, he's dug in, and Cowana have been striking pretty ferociously this time, and Arctic is going to steam his way into CC and unfortunately get caught by the ADS just around the corner as he tries to crack that open, and well, let's double down and try something else. We've just lost a big bit of utility there. No Selma breach to get Ziden out, but also, you know, there's one person on site. If we know someone's still in there, we can reevaluate, as Kayak is doing, heading to logistics, cutting them in the middle, cutting them off at the half, and just saying, well, if you want to rotate, you still got to go through us. Rivers is trying to pay attention to it, but with the wall being cracked behind him too, now he doesn't really know where he can go, so he heads back into Gym to lock himself inside a little bit more securely. That is another angle opened, another hold and another place for them to cut it off, but Rivers finds a bit of success, looks for the second, can't find it, the C4 goes, catches and blows as well, 2 versus 2. A great double is going to lead them to a little bit more success. Kayak is pushing up from one side, goes for a rotate and catches him as he plays around the site. The diffuser is cold outside, and they are still waiting for the movement of the man inside this cash spot. They can just plant. They can just plant, just wait, and hope that Sloth wins a firefight, and he does. He's finally found himself towards the end of a round, and it's Cowana with their third.
He has been on flank watch for that remaining last 1.5 minutes. Had a bullet hole set up, was waiting for the Mamai to just try and leave, but he just stayed put in cash. And even though Namira managed to pick up a couple of good frags right there, bringing it back to a 2-on-2 situation and effectively a 1-on-1 on site, wasn't able to win that last gunfight. If that one was won by the Mira, that would have been a Bekind round. That is something to keep in mind right here. That's how close they were, even though it was a 4-on-2 situation. Bekind, on the back of that mirror window, managed to find 2 and bring it back into equal numbers. It was up until, well, that gunfight was lost and Sloth was the one that had to take it together with the Mamai. The round wasn't decided yet because it could still go either way because, well, the diffuser wasn't highway, right? You need to jump back in the window, and there was an angle actually from Cash to try and watch that. So it was for smokes, I believe, that was covered off. If there was no smokes left, or if it was any other operator, that might have been a kill. And the diffuser dropped yet again, turning it into Sloth versus Wamai.
Back downstairs, back to the basement. Third time's the charm, you're kind of hoping. If you're a Bekind fan right now, Cowana have guaranteed themselves a 3-3 split. Okay, all hard destructions on the board as well as a Thatcher, and they're kind of running around that right now. They're very much happy to play that, as would anybody be on a clubhouse attack. You're fully set, fully kitted, and coordinated, can just break you through onto a lot of these holds. It is a hard destruction map, and with no bans, it's a kind of rare sight and a bit of a rare treat. Bekind, they're looking for more options and more possibilities. Coming in the eyes and the guise of potentially Legends and Walkero, actually, both of them roaming and moving across the top, pushing towards Strip, and, well, they drop a drone and decide to pull back and peel back. They'll give the game away and hopefully slow them down a bit, but the spread out push of Cowana is something where they're trying to hunt the bodies on the top floor.
Hoping to push through. Bekind. Chico looking to go aggressive as he moves up just a little bit up on those blue stairs. Has no clue. Potentially that Sloth is right above him. And as I say, that Legends gets picked up by Cowana. Very effective roam clear coming through right here. It took them about 45 seconds before they managed to take out Legends. All they have to do now is make sure no one else will be going on that roam. El Chico being the one that is probably the closest to potentially break out and try and make some crazy play happen as he's near that blue stairs.
Yeah, obviously didn't have the best start to this game, but has been able to pick himself up a little bit since then, and now he's dug in a place where, well, things started a bit on the bad foot. Sloth is looking to try and double that down. Concerned about being discovered and pinged, so he's going to pop on drone and get some intel of his own, but all of the gadgets that are currently stacked at the bottom of blue towards utility are going to cause a little bit of a trouble if he tries to do his approach. Last time, what we saw Cowana do as response to this was drop a man into Moto. Gorgona picked up a 4K and had themselves set up and solidified on the opposite side. Grizzly is the one that's going to keep an eye towards the door for now and make sure that nobody catches them on the rotate as they set themselves up to apply the pressure towards pipes in the back of church wall. But With the Anvil on the opposite side and Sloth playing roam hold yet again and flank watch, well, it's just a matter of seeing if they can find some success here. That was a dangerous dance, but everybody is still fine for wear after it.
4 drones available. Zanarkit gets tagged up just a little bit. Valkyro will be staying alive behind the one wall that is not completely destroyed yet, but it's not really a safe spot as it goes for a pre-fire left, right, and well, left and right again. We'll be able to rotate back just a little bit into safety before Grizzly will be taking down one of his teammates, and it's suddenly all falling apart right here for Bekind. It's a 2-on-3 situation. Now Chico will go down as well, and that leaves it all up to Zidane, who's using some bullet holes, hoping to find some kills near the main stairs area, but knows that a push from Blue is now coming in. 30 seconds, and Anna will be going onto that plant. The beautiful shot will be coming down onto Sloth to try and bring it back into somewhat more equal numbers. The clock is ticking. 45 seconds will be on the clock, and it's up to Zidane to try and find these 2 members. One will be in Moto, one will be behind the black boxes, maybe rotating back up the main stairs. No, still there. He's on 1 HP. It's Zidane right now. Will he know that the last member is behind the black boxes? The time is running out shortly. He needs 7 seconds to get the defuser going, and that means within 15 seconds he needs to push now. If Valkyrie, not Valkyrie actually, a Gumine was being tossed out right there. Not an explosive, but he won't get the kill. Is he going to be able to find it in time? Yes, he will. There it is. Bekind is going to be able to get that round in. As Zidane goes to that defuser. 1v3 clutch coming in. As all members were quite low on HP, he managed to chip away from them time and time again. And Cowana leaving a round there that could have been won.
Yeah, hell of a play there. A 4K clutch situation. Obviously 1 came before. It was a 3 versus 1, but still. That round is yours, Zidane, and you've definitely earned it. And well, somebody kind of had to, because otherwise you were looking at potentially a 4-1, maybe worse split. CC your back 2 to try and guarantee yourself at least an even turn of the half before you head to, as we said, not the worst day for attackers. On this day out on Clubhouse, you are set up with all of your hard destruction capabilities. Everything that you'd like to generally have as your primary push is on the board. There's no real complaints massively for a lot of teams on the attack. Obviously, you're looking at things like the Monty and the Capital gone, but unless you've got a massive preference for playing them, yeah, they have their roles, yeah, they have the options. Monty's great in dirt, Capital's great at taking top of garage, loads of other positions, sure, but full hard destruction, you cannot undersell that, how good that can be for attackers.
It will definitely help you because you're not limited in your choices. You could choose to bring a Thermite and an Ace, but you basically any combination that you want, and especially with Detector being open as well, it will allow you to just open up so easily against a Mute or a Bandit. There's nothing they can really do because the Mute juggle is basically impossible to pull off, and the Bandit trick is still possible, but it's taking so much risks, as of course, like a Sophia could be coming up from below, use a double impact to get the instant kill, or grenades could be flying in from the bottom, so it's not really ideal, and that is why more often than not you would see the Kai trying to secure that goal, but just picking them up and putting them back down, those clauses. Legends get stacked up somehow. Not quite sure from where. Is that from Grizzly, from the roof here?
Well, Grizzly
could have been.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time trying to pinch down towards this side. Obviously, they didn't really put a huge amount of pressure at the beginning onto the logistics construction side, and it led to what was a bit of a half-hearted push. They hadn't really got the utility left to go for the clear against things like the shield on the top of red, or obviously the wall itself started to fall apart to bits because they were losing the Hibana pellets and the X-Kairos that they'd set up, so it seems like they want to pay more focus to that very quickly. After that, a very perfect double door opener, and yet again, Sloth. He's watching for the flanks, watching to try and catch somebody, and this time they didn't lose the Maverick on the open because, hey, why bring him when we can just Thatcher and ace it through?
That's exactly it. Just use that Thatcher, open it from there. Beautiful shot from Sloth. It's going to be starting things up. That is the first kill. El Chico will be down and out of the battle. Legends is still low on HP. He's roaming on that bottom floor. Zidane now decides to go back up as Legends gets taken down somehow. Not sure where that shot actually came from. Must have been all the way from the end of the...
Oh no, it was above.
It's actually from the hatch. It was from the hatch, indeed. I was going to say it must have been on the other side of the bar. Or from the little opening on the back. But that's not going to be the case. Valkyro now going quite low as well. It's being challenged. There's drones coming out as well. The pressure is there. He will be going down from the main door. As Kayak will be able to pick up that kill. Suddenly it's only up to Zidane and Rivers now, and it looks like a 4-2 split will be in the making. as Cowana, after losing some rounds on their attack, are starting to climb back and make sure that they will be the ones in the lead of this half.
Well, last time it came down to a Zidane clutch, this time it won't. As Sloth pushes in, gets a double and puts them in a 5 versus 1 with the pistol out. It's not even his kill. A flawless to tie off a round where Cowana put themselves up 4-2 on the split. It was so much more coordinated from them, and whether it was sloppier from the side of Bekind, not too sure. The 3 roamers were picked off. Well, okay. 2 roamers and the garage player were picked off pretty quickly, and obviously you consistently play under that hatch. If you're expecting a logistics push, it's not the worst position to be in. They had 2 C4s potentially underneath there and the ability to do something with it. And Cowana just went, okay, then we're going to take control of stock, get someone on the main door, and we're going to shoot you from the hatch. And it just kind of, there was no territory that they were really safe in from that point. They could have potentially pulled away, left the hatch, and rotated up via the main red stairs and looked for a way out. It might have bought them a little bit more hope in the round and just wasted time instead of 2 lives. But to those moments where I guess you don't really know how much of a web the attackers have woven for you, either way you got very much caught up in it. Cowana, in UK fashion, are starting on a tertiary site first and seeing if they can make magic happen on gym bedroom.
And it's often something that people do not really realize. They're like, why do you go to this site first, right? Like, why do you not just try and go for the normal rotation? But the thing is, you're going to have to win your rounds anyway if you want to win this, right? So why not just start out on your offsite, and if you win it, you have it out of the way, and you have the foresight that you're going to be playing your next 2 rounds, which you would need in this case, because you're 4-2 up, to secure this matchup and the win. And with that, of course, as well, the actual spot in the playoffs. Like, those 2 rounds would be on favorable sides, as Anarchy gets a bit of a shotgun pellet inside a Grizzly. Nothing too big. He's going to survive that. It's just a scratch.
It's a bear. You can take it. A little bit of a moment. A little bit of a break. A little bit of a breather. As we find ourselves, obviously, in a 4-2. Now, Bekind have a lot of work left to do ahead of them, but look at the wide game that Cowana are currently playing. Kind of highlighted it before that they can be an exceptional gunning team when they need to. A lot of the members have this habit of stepping up when they want to try and pull a moment, pull a round, or pull a clutch. Kayak will obviously feed the intel that this is going down, but look at Rivers underneath in stock. They're looking to try and cause some problems from beneath and potentially catch someone. The worry is Grizzly, who's rotating steadily round. El Chico might have a grenade cooked, ready and prepped, and try and pop the body from beneath and catch them, but ooh, there's a catch. The Grizzly Bear has lost his claws and his teeth. The frag grenade doesn't catch Kayak, but the flashes are going to come through and try and apply some pressure to the top of landing. And Eastern and Red is going to steadily start to fall the way of Red as they try and push their way through. But look at Kayak stepping into the firefight, wants to try and catch one by surprise, gives the game away and doesn't quite catch anybody. There's a lot of bodies from Bekind stacking up for this fight.
And it looks like they might be wanting to rush in quickly from Plateau as one just jumped through the window. It's Legends now playing behind the service stack. Ash or Valkyro trying to push the put some pressure down as well. But Kayak has to go for the reload right now. One coming up from the back onto the actual red stairs. El Chico picks up on that kill. And that is a 2-minute advantage coming down here now for Bekind on their first attack. Cowana will have to think about what to do now because Sloth is still in a position to be going for a run out. And of course we are playing Gym Bedroom, so it doesn't really matter if you lose your... Wait, are we playing Gym Bedroom?
We are playing Gym Bedroom.
I was going to say, because the bomb site looks really far away from that strip run out, but then I realized it's actually just basically the same distance between CCTV and Gym Bedroom again towards the strip. Anyway, Legends will be taken down, so that's going to be a reply, and that's finally what Sloth was looking for as we get back to the action. Now we will have to fall back towards the site, though, because they know one will be offside. There's only 2 left. How many more will there be roaming? And they do have still that man advantage.
Well, Chico's going to try and get the grenade cooked and down towards Gorgona, who just pulls into the little alcove of logistics and keeps himself safe. Wants to lean into the firefight, and with only 15 seconds, Bekind. They're taking a little bit of a scrap on the Ash, but they take even more on the sledge. Goes for the pickup, finds one, but there's another trade, and now... Cowana yet again have found themselves in the man advantage. The first falls, gives the game away, and they're looking for the second, who's in the wrong place, but with 4 seconds and the diffuser off sight, he has to go aggro. Look at the rotation, and Arkick with a C4 in hand. Oh, it's his round.
Cowana able to pick up on that one. And there we have it. Very well played. Even though Bekind was able to put up some really good pressure early on, they weren't able to close out the round because they still had to fight themselves through construction and to the actual site. If there is still C4s available and they will be played from below, you know that that plant will not be happening anytime soon unless you do it on the bed, but that's not really a good cover position. And does Cowana pick up? 5 on 2. They're 2 rounds away from pushing themselves to security for the playoffs. And the question is, will they get them now? As, well, they got their offside out of the way. All they have to deal with now is CCTV key, okay, CCTV cache, there we go. And the Church Arsenal, where they are right now.
It's 5-2 in Cowana. Well, I think it was a little bit of a scrappy round to take. You can't really deny that. Obviously, it was also one of those sites where things very quickly started to fall into the favor of Bekind, but they just couldn't quite lock it down against the site itself. Again, the players of Cowana frequently have a habit of being able to strike and pull these moments in clutches. The communication and game day practice these 5 have run pretty continually, obviously, with the addition of Kayak being the change after their season of UKIN, is from our division and from our league was one of those second to none. They were so good, they worked so hard, and you can really tell that in their comms and their movement, they're so quick to react to things like that.
And that's an important thing. You need to be able to quick to reply to these different situations that will be brought upon you in Challenger League, because every single team is different. You're playing against teams from different nationalities, from different national leagues, and every single national league has their own little meta going on for them as well. You got to keep that in mind, because not everything is the same. And of course, when you come into Challenger League, it becomes a bit more uniform, but you're still going to see these elements that will be played in their own national leagues implemented into the game style, and you need to be able to respond to that and reply to that. And so far, Cowana doing that quite well with Bekind, who stepped up huge against Penta the last time around, but cannot seem to be finding many more rounds as of yet here against Cowana, as it looks like a dirt tunnel push is going to be their main priority. My question with that is, do you not need any other, well, control in that case?
Well, they're stacking themselves in. In the meantime, Sloth has gone down on the opposite side. That is your roam clear, getting the roam. And with the air jabs probably down too, that adds a lot into their support here. Kayak is doing his best to dig in, but the drones are giving the game away, so he's just going to respond and try and get aggro. Move out the range of the frag grenade, but he's closer than you think, and so is Malusi. Now it is a 1 versus 4, though, just down to nobody, actually. It's Bekind. Well, they did shove themselves, 3 of them down in dirt, but the loss around the rest of the map really cost them.
Beautifully played by Bekind. And I was going to say, like, is this really the play going that heavy inside the dirt tunnel? Well, they managed to get the round out, nonetheless, as they also attacked from other sides, of course, took down the roamers of Cowana, trying to get back to the site. And that leaves it in a 5-on-3 situation now. The game is still open. It is not out for a draw yet. There is no overtime here in the EU Challenger League, and that means that as soon as Cowana hits that 6, they will be secure of 1 point. And that, of course, will be their priority now. They're going up to CCTV cache. Going to be changing it up a little bit. Not repeating the same bomb site after a very hefty loss. And thus, CCTV cache will be upon us.
Well, they've set themselves up here, and let's see if they can do it better than, well, I guess we've seen it on the last trip round. 5-3. It's not quite over for Bekind. They're doing better and better, and they still obviously have some attacks stacked towards them with the balance of having all the intel. They've got creative with the holes there before they set the reinforcers up, and they're making sure they have the cover down below. Rivers' drone is getting all the beat and the read of that Vault cam, as well as the intel that they're going to set themselves up. I'm curious to see the push that we see from Bekind, because as we said and saw, they kind of shoved themselves down dirt previously and tried to make that their play, their work, and it worked. So, are we going to see something a little bit brute forcey here too?
Love to see a bit brute forcey coming through, because their attacks seem to be in point. Even though they lost the first one, don't forget, they still managed to pick up the majority of the Cowana players before they actually hit the site. But it wasn't until they actually hit the site that they started to struggle with the defenses of Cowana. So maybe their attacks are stronger than we might think in this current way of playing Clubhouse with the amount of hub breachers available to them. Of course, only 2 are being brought. The Termite and the Maverick is a really dangerous cross comes by right there. I don't think you want to run past it like that close to the door at least, because you might get your head taken off by a player on the mezzanines or catwalk, however you wish to name it. Because Grizzly is aggressively peeking it.
Now then, they steadily and slowly approach the wall and try and burn their way through. There is a C4 underneath from Kayak, and he's opening up with the Deagle, I believe, the hole to be able to see. There is one slight just on the opposite side, unfortunately for him. Guessed wrong and is just pulled away for now. But they still have the option, they still have the angle if they want to return to it later, and if we see more destruction come from Bekind. Grizzly, in the meantime, is looking to try and step up and keep himself coordinated and put together. But look at the bodies of Cowana. They're just kind of able to move around. They're waiting for Bekind, I think, at this point, and trying to work out exactly where the Bekind push is coming from, because apart from the first step, we haven't really seen anywhere else, at least from their gaze and their perspective. But hey, there they are. They've steadily started to open up on Gym and Jacuzzi, push their way across the top, and try and apply the pressure here instead. The drones are leading them through, and they've been able to pull all the way into logistics, but as we've seen before, it's not really a set story when you make it here, and they're concerned about a Valkyrie cam that might give this game away.
I have to quickly mention, I haven't seen a Sophia yet coming down from Bekind here. Sloth picks up the first kill to El Chico. Desk will be taken down, and so will the shield, as Valkyria right now will be trying to make a push happen. Gogona fell back just a little bit, and it should take quite a bit of damage. Right now, Bekind want to open up in the construction wall, but they're afraid of potential impacts to come through, or potentially a C4, as the walls above have been opened up. So they have to be careful, as there he comes. There is the impact as well from Gogona. And that is one of your heart breach pieces of utility gone. And as Rivers is going to be... Well, it looks like he's going to be trying to open up again. Might not be the right choice. Grizzly picks up the kill to Legends, though. So that means that all the remaining members of Bekind will be left inside the construction. And now we'll have to try and make their way into this site, into the defenses of Cowana, and get that plan down.
Second impact went off too, so now they don't even have the option of the open hard wall, but an R-kick steps into one, and they somehow don't catch the second on rafters, throw themselves into Sloth, and a second flawless on the same site as before, though on opposite turns and opposite halves, pushes Cowana to a promised draw. And I believe, and I'm sure you're going to run me some stats, that now guarantees them a place, and unfortunately means Bekind have no way to make it into those playoffs.
You know what? I'm going to try and find out right now
Okay.
to see if you are correct in this one.
I believe I'm correct, but I don't want to, fully throw numbers. They're your thing, man. I don't want to step on your numbers, Tough.
No worries. You can step on the number stuff every single day if you like. All right, so that puts Cowana onto 5 points, and that indeed runs Bekind and Black Mamba out of the running to even reach the playoffs. So the group is set. It doesn't matter anymore. All that is currently being played for is seeding. Bekind and Black Mamba are officially out of the running for. That's unfortunate. You better sit down, Fluke.
I know. Well, I'm also making sure I don't look super crazy, but I always kind of do, so...
Well, the rehost is being called. We had a drop coming in from Bekind.
We did?
As, yeah. Oh, they're just...
Yep.
leaving.
It was seen.
Yeah. Okay, coming in. That means we're going back to our beautiful faces, where we can discuss how this future of the group B-Dice will shape up.
Hey, I look partially crazy. And my monitor's still there, which is where I watch the game, but I'm not going to move it yet because I can't be bothered. Yeah, so we now have a group. We now have our 4 teams that will be playing through, and obviously in the playoffs from this situation. Sure, as you said, we've obviously still got a game day ahead of us, but we're also playing for those seeding possibilities. What's quite funny about this? The 4 teams that are now guaranteed are all playing against each other. The kind of playoffs on the bottom of the board is the last Playday between Bekind and Black Mamba, so they kind of have a little bit of a bragging rights match to see who doesn't end up on the very bottom of the board and who's able to at least pull a point, if not 3, which is probably the precious result there. But otherwise, Obviously, we've still got on the board today after this Penta versus M&M, which is going to be a huge game. And then next week, Penta versus Cowana and Homeless versus M&M. So these 4 teams, they've still got a lot to push. And Cowana, obviously, they want to get those other 2 points. They do not want to fall behind Homeless.
No, you really don't, and you're playing for seeding in this game, right? Not for this game, but for the next couple of games as well, because you're going to be going into playoffs, so you don't want to be facing off against either a Penta or a Winstrike or Gamma Gaming at the start. That's just something you kind of want to avoid, because that would really ruin your chances of actually going to EUL. And of course, you need to be able to beat the 2, best teams to call yourself the top 2 in a region like this. But like, you kind of want to ease into those playoff stages, right? You don't want to go against the toughest opponent match number 1, because that is not really going to be a good warm-up for you.
No, and that's obviously it. When you're trying to set yourself up as well with the possibilities of, we've already hit heads before, we've seen what people are capable of, we've seen some of these teams step up massively. Obviously, we've still got this game to finish to really know how things are working out in terms of Cowana, but from their very strong start to where they're at now, they've had a couple of shaky days and moments. You look at teams like Homeless that started on the back foot, but since then have looked so much better every single week and every single play day. Their growth as a team, for me, if I was in this group, would be a little bit like, okay, they were an unknown, now they're known, and we got to keep an eye on these guys.
They're currently drawn up with points with Penta. However, they have played 1 game more than Penta, as Penta will still play, of course, after this. So there is an opportunity that if M&M win the next game, they would be in first place. Will be followed up by Penta Homeless, and then potentially Cowana, depending on what happens now. So there's still, a lot that can shift here today.
And
all out in the open.
Yeah, and obviously this game isn't over yet. Like, we're talking in very final statements. They are on map point, which has guaranteed them the spot, but there's still a couple of rounds to play for. There's still a couple kind of moments for Bekind to actually put a point on the board and give themselves a bit of a leg up before they have their showdown with Black Mamba next week. They've generally had a little bit of a better performance than Black Mamba have, but it started off on the worst possible foot. So it's been a tough time for these 2 teams in what was cited by a lot to be a little bit of a group of death as of this moment. And I guess, hey, that's something else to look forward to. They've got a bit of a breather before they try and secure a little bit of a point, and they've had some success in their attacks. They've had some good moments.
They've had some good moments indeed. There is potential. They just need to be able to harness it. But unfortunately then for Bekind and Homeless, their story with EUCL is done. They'll have to start focusing on the next season of Nationals as well. Of course, it's their last game, and for Bekind, the current game that's going on, to try and requalify, because they are here for a reason, of course, and that doesn't mean they're not going to be able to requalify again. And as we're getting back into that game, we're going to see if Bekind is going to be able to force a draw here, which would be putting Cowana into a position that they rather not be in, which is that number 4 spot. Or if Cowana is going to be able to take the win here and draw with M&M for now, up until their game with Penta will be played and is done, of course.
6-3, Bekind, and Grizzlies picked up the Clash for the first time. We've really seen, I guess, some possibility of her played today, and, well, she's taking the time to show up. Get an SSD. Okay, now they're in the game, now they're in with the situation of trying to double down on Jim. This was chaotic. It didn't open in the best way for Cowana, but then they're able to pull it back with some pretty nifty gun skill.
There's still an opportunity. It's still an FPS, right? So, like, even if you feel the puzzle game that Siege sometimes can be, you still have the opportunity to just pull the trigger and take them down one by one. Make sure you win the round that way. There's multiple ways to success. Like, some teams like to stack up 5 insane fraggers, and others like to focus more on bringing the most crazy strategy you can ever imagine. Both would be ways that you can win matches with. So it really depends upon your style, upon what you'd like to do. But it doesn't mean they're mutually exclusive. You can still have crazy fraggers with great strategies. Like, any combination is possible.
Now then, as they try and put the pressure on, I'm hoping to see a bit of confidence from Bekind. Obviously, they are more than aware of their situation now, and going forward, what they're kind of stuck with. So, why not go a little bit guns blazing? Why not try and go out with a bit of a storm and leave your mark in this situation? You burn your way through steadily and try and apply the pressure here, but Grizzly, he's heading over. He's going to have a quick look and see what's going on.
Grizzly just waiting for this wall to be opened up and realize what the damage will be and what kind of operators will be brought. You see the member being repelled up in plateau there. That is the support for anybody trying to go aggressive, trying to peek side, and as he tries to open up, there it is. There is the clash. There's also a Banshee that they will have to take care of. Surely a grenade will be doing that. Don't think there's any ADSs or discs deployed in this current room, meaning that El Chico is going to be able to take care of the Banshee quickly. The issue, however, is the clash that is playing right behind the service deck. How are you going to be dealing with this operator? Because there's no Sophie on the board for Bekind. There is no Capital to play with. What can you bring to try and deal with this?
Well, they're looking to try and deal with it by pushing some pressure around to the side. Grizzly's happy to just bounce back and forth for now. Playing the mobile kind of information gathering game and pulling back when they need to. Here comes the drone, the flashes, and the pressure. They're handing this territory over easier than they did last time. But also last time when they handed it over, they lost 2 lives. So in a weird way, this is a bit more of a success story from their side. You keep an eye there of Sloth underneath too, waiting for, I guess, someone to get a little bit too overeager and try and swing against the clash. If he goes undetected, he could strike pretty boldly here, but you hope that Bekind drone him out, because we've seen them pinch people off the map pretty well before.
Grizzly just staying put in the rotation that has been created for him. Picking out some drones, but of course it's still putting quite some pressure down onto Bekind as Volkiro and El Chico both have been trying to deal with this clash for the entirety of this round so far and haven't been able to put up a single point of damage. And as I say that Gorgona picks up a kill to Rivers, that means that the Jacuzzi is now under control. No one is going to be left there to try and challenge them, and that means that is one less angle to worry about, as right now Grizzly seems to be getting pressure from 2. One from the inside of Cash, one from the actual... Again, no longer from the inside of Cash as El Chica blew himself up. Legends then will be taken down. Gorgona will get another kill to Valkyro. And the GGs are already being called by Bekind. They do not have to trust in Zidane for him to try and clutch out this 1v5 within 4 seconds. The 360 comes in with a beautiful kill to follow it up. But it's Bekind that will stay on 0 points for now. It is Cowana that secured themselves in their playoff spot. And for now, right behind M&M. The question is, will they stay there or will M&M elevate themselves?
Well, it's GG's in chat, and obviously commiserations to the team at Bekind. Obviously, I'm sure they will be back. They're still playing in the other league too, the French league, so they're in a tough situation, a tough spot, but they were able to battle back against some tough adversities from the start. Now, talking of tough adversities, well, actually, I'm not going to say now, because that's going to be a conversation a little bit later. Let's keep our focus on Cowana and Bekind and a 7-3 that puts them a bit up the board.
Yeah, indeed. It puts them a bit on the board. Bekind, unfortunately, will stay on 0 points, even though there's massive improvements being made by them. Fortunately, not really showing today, but let's toss it over to the analyst to break it down.
Thank you so much, guys. We're back. Dev, you look very